New tonight, you are getting your first look at the woman accused of running an unlicensed assisted living home, and she is in deep trouble. Good evening, I'm David Scott. Reports of squalor, no AC, possible sex abuse. Neighbors and loved ones are coming forward with dozens of allegations, and now we've learned there's one criminal charge and an investigation by the Attorney General's office. They're looking into how Renee Segura ran a place called God's Blessings. Records confirm she was arrested but paid a $5,000 bond to get out this weekend. KXAN's Phil Prazan shows how the discovery of her group home could get her slapped with criminal penalties.
If I would have seen that facility, which literally looked like a part of that movie Night of the Living Dead, where people were walking around like zombies, when I did go over there and look at the place after my mother died, there's no way in heck I would have had her there.
Tales of horror springing from a Central Texas assisted living facility. State workers descend on an Austin house to find more than 20 people, 7 who were rushed to the hospital. They were allegedly shuffled in from the group home God's Blessing in Belton after state workers realized they were operating without a license. Police charged Segura with interfering with public duty after she tried to keep the personal information of these people secret from state officials, police, and EMS workers. Former employees say that could be the tip of the iceberg.
They got bed bugs, they got flies all on the dishes. Dishes stacked up, you know what I'm saying? It's nasty in there.
There's something very fishy here.
Luther Meredith says his mother was under the care of Segura. He now says she's nowhere to be found.
Where in the heck is my mother? And why? I don't understand how people can operate like this.
Other allegations of sexual abuse and neglect are now being investigated by the Department of Aging and Disability Services and the Attorney General's office. Phil Prazan, KXAN News.
If your loved one is in an assisted living facility, you can check with the Department of Aging and Disability Services website. They're known as DADS. The search tool is in the upper right corner. They list all of the licensed facilities in the state. Now, according to the website, you must get a license if your facility has 4 people or more living there. You must pay a fee depending on the number of beds. The maximum is $1,500. It must be up to date on codes like the Texas Health and Safety Code and the National Fire Protection Code, based on the amount of people living there and the ways they have to evacuate. And you must have an emergency preparedness and response plan. As for possible penalties for this specific place, the maximum DADS can do is ban someone from working or operating in a group home statewide. After that, it's up to local law enforcement, which means Belton police will have to take over the case. The Texas Attorney General's already opened a case against God's Blessing to see if they were operating without a license. Allegations of neglect and abuse have not been backed up with police charges yet, but those come with hefty consequences.